Hi guys, happy new moon. I think we're like the second day into the new moon. And listen, I have a message. If you see here, I don't know. It says I have advice for an emperor. I was cooking while my kids are in the pool, and I was like, all right, I want to do a reading now, not just a late night reading where my words are just so slurred up, but and then I was meditating and I just kept hearing, I have advice for an emperor. And I don't know who I'm connecting with. And just so you know, it's not gender specific. The emperor is more masculine energy. It's the part of you that takes control, that moves forward, that makes decisions. A bit controlling, a little bit, but is that aspect. So this definitely can go for a boss woman um, who is on top of her game, but the emperor is what came out. And the reason why I want to say that is because sometimes the emperor energy will come out for me too, especially when I'm just taking charge, moving forward, and leading. And then the empress energy comes in when I'm kind of just nurturing, creating, just really in that side of things. So for you, I'm getting that you are some type of business owner, some type of boss, and yeah. So let's tap into this message that I got here, and then I'll just probably pull some cards, not for the message, just for some clarity. Okay. So the first part, I want to see if you can see it. All right, you might can see that. It says, aim for something small. It will lead to the prize. So that was the first part of the message. So, um, when I got that part in, it reminded me of a business model that I use for myself and what I use for my clients as well. So, being someone who loves high ticket sales, I also was a person who thrived and I had to get out of low ticket reactive sales. Okay. And I got very comfortable and complacent in that because I was in a mindset of survival. So I didn't really build the higher ticket skills to where, well, it wasn't even that. I actually did do that. So I started off with low ticket, and then the intention was to build a relationship with people so then I could upsell to a high ticket. But then I started becoming so drained with the high ticket because that was when I was in my marketing era, building companies for people. I felt like I wasn't doing nothing for myself. So then I stepped out of that and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not building for anyone anymore. I'm just going to just do low ticket and then have the time to work on myself. But then God was just like, why? Because it made me transactional. And I didn't realize the blessing of what I was doing before was I was building relationships with people because when I went in to make those low ticket sales, my intention was not to just offer them something that was cheap. My intention was to like build trust with something simple and then um, find problems and I already have that connection, I'm already in there, then upsell them for that. Well, I had a lot of healing to do because I was building stuff to where I was just fixing everyone's problems. And it's okay to do that, but you can't lose sight of doing for yourself because I was giving other people my creative energy. But not only that, I was their strategist, I was like their counselor, their mentor, and I was building for them. So I had no energy left for me. So I had to realize why I even started that from the beginning and go back to that purpose of why we do that. Because sometimes we don't really want to jump all in with someone. Sometimes it's good, starting small with someone, seeing how their relationship goes, and then upselling, going from there. So I don't know. Whenever I just went on a rant. So whenever I have clients and they want to hit high ticket, uh, with high ticket sales, it does come with a lot of manipulation because you kind of have to convince them to spend that much money, and then you have to convince them that they're going to get X. But with coherence, you don't have to manipulate anyone. If people can trust you with something small and trust that you'll get to do a good job, it's easy for people to trust you with something bigger because it's not just the job that you're doing, it's the relationship that you establish just for that small task. And so, what I'm getting with this message here, I don't know how this turned into a damn sales lesson, but is aim for something small. So what I feel from that is you're someone that likes to jump in all big, go big or go home. And that's been your downfall. And that's why a lot of people have failed you, because you're someone to where you go big for yourself and you kind of expect for people to meet you there. And that's just not reality. I had to realize that too, you know, and you have to kind of test the water out. And so what happened is because you were burned so much, you kind of don't know how to choose wisely. And what that does is it stops you from moving forward and it keeps you comfortable. And God wants you to aim for something small. So what he's saying is, I feel like you're already trying to start something new and you're kind of unsure of what direction to go. And what he's saying is, whether it's in a business, an offer, or relationship, or a project, is start something small with a small expectation. And then let it blossom and unravel from there. That will help you retrain yourself to trust yourself, but also not give so much of yourself. And I have to also realize that too. You see, I had to pivot from doing so much for people to doing what I'm good at doing, being a strategist, guiding people, leading. I shouldn't be, and I had to heal this wound, giving so much of myself and then doing the work and then someone just putting a price tag to it saying, oh yeah, all of your energy is just worth this. No, I gave too much of myself. And then it stopped other people from being accountable. And I feel like you and I resonate in that aspect just for me to even speak like this. So go back to the beginning, your intentions for whatever you tried to build that failed, for whatever you put your all into and then you didn't get enough back. Go back to the reason why you even did that to begin with. And then start again with the intention of, I'm going to give and I'm going to receive. And I'm going to give more than I'm going to receive. So that way it flows. It's equal, So yeah. Anyways, let's keep going. You will have more clarity when you see how much is built from a small seed than an unnurtured harvest. Okay. I don't know. This is flowing together. So, you know how I just said you'll have more clarity when you see how much is built from a small seed? What was I just saying? You pour a little, you let them pour some. You pour a little. And it's saying then an unnurtured harvest. So you used to give people so much without them deserving it. You used to just overgive. I used to do the same thing too, expecting that people would just kind of be the same way that I am. It don't work like that. So let's keep going. It says, you will know the difference this time when you try again, because now, and another thing, a reason why is I had to, even in business, I told you I stopped willing to do big things for people, but that stopped me from receiving, because then when I was just doing cold call, it kept me small. Before it was a balance, because when I was doing like low ticket cold call, it was like a small ticket that kept a cash flow in, but it balanced itself out with high ticket sales. So I was not just getting the small ticket, I was getting the high ticket sales too. But then when I got so drained from building from people, I just wanted to do small ticket. But then I lost sight of my why from that, because my why was just I let the experience of other people, what would happen? I would do great things for them, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And I'm just like, I'm doing more than probably your whole team does together. It wasn't enough. And then I started to see like, yo, whatever, this high ticket still isn't even enough for me. And what I was doing was I was just giving a whole bunch of myself for that one high ticket, which I should have did was give some and let it be a reoccurring stuff and then establish, predictable income from that. But I had to kind of learn that the hard way. But anyways, when I moved to transactional, that was a defense. When I moved back to just, I'm not going to upsell, I'm going to do transactional, I started working twice as hard for money, because guess what? I wasn't supposed to work that hard because my intentions wasn't set that way. Before, my intentions were set to, okay, accomplish the small ticket, build the relationship, and upsell. So that way it fills in the gap. Well, if I'm not upselling them and I'm just doing the low ticket, then there's no balance. That means that I'm really relying on talking to a whole bunch of people, high volume, which means higher output. And then that means I'm reactive. So now I wasn't really saving money or building a whole lot of money. And then, so I had to return back to, okay, how do I restructure how I gave before to where I'm not drained and I receive, and I'm not using all of my highest potential energy into this client. I am giving them the best parts of me, but I can also give myself that too. I can give, but I can build for myself too. And then that's when everything shifted, because now I wasn't taking something valuable away because of what other people didn't do. And I feel like because you were burned so much, you don't trust jumping back in with your heart open again. And what you have to understand is, if you were to have those boundaries in the beginning, then you probably wouldn't have been where you were. You probably would have paid attention to what people did. And then when people showed you that they weren't going to pour back into you, then you would have probably cut the cord then. But you're very kind, you're very compassionate, and that's how people come into your life. So that's why the advice says you will know the difference this time when you try again, because now when you try again, you're going to try again from the same open heart space that you had in the beginning, because that's how you manifest, through your heart. And that's how you manifest an alignment. If you do something with the fear that people are going to betray you, then you're going to attract things on that vibration. People who do that. And not even betray you, people who drain you, people who don't give as much as you. If you move with this intention, now you're going to attract people who have boundaries as well. People who give a little and want to receive a little, and they want to test you out too. Then when you guys are safe, you start giving each other more. But it still is going to be a thing that flows and grows over time. Dang. You got me preaching over here. I don't even need the cards for this message. I'm going to still pull the cards out later if I need to. All right. I don't know. I feel like I'm tapped into someone's ancestors or guides right now. Anyways, the enemy is in the past. All right. So you have an enemy here. When I saw this, I was thinking about things that happened in my past, to where people benefit from you staying small. So though we are looking at an enemy, and specifically a person, I'm going to pull cards on who this enemy is. They're hoping that you stay in fear. They're hoping that you still react to the version of you that doesn't want to be drained again, because if you react that way, then you don't go in with your heart open. Because when your heart's open, then you attract people whose hearts are open and not closed. So if you take a path to where you are moving forward with your heart closed, then the people of your past, the people who are trying to get in and take your abundance, they can attach to that path. And they are counting, look, I wrote this down. It's crazy. They are counting on you to move how you did before. The other path exposes them, because let me tell you how. If you take the path that leads with your heart open. You say, you know what? I know I went through this before, but I'm going to take the lesson and I'm going to try this again and I'm going to expect the best, but I'm not going to give so much of myself at once. I'm going to give enough of myself, see if it's appreciated. If it's not, I'm just going to cut the cord right then and there. I'm not going to let it get to the point to where I'm in regret again. I'm going to learn how to cut things off faster, but I'm going to lead with my heart so I can meet someone who is leading with their heart. And if you do that, it exposes them because now you see clearly what love is, what the right partnership is, what the right relationship is. And then when you see it that way, it exposes people who are fraudulent. You understand? Take a screenshot of that if you want it to keep it for your, I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, here we go. It says, whatever you plan to start, though it looks different than the past, it's still an energetic match, illusion. Trust how you feel. Okay, so you have been starting something and you've been wanting to try something. You've been wanting to try something again, and it's like you've even built it with oh, I got it. Ugh. Okay. You've built whatever you're building now, which is new, and it feels new. It says, whatever you plan to start, though it looks different than the past. That's how I know I'm probably tapped into somebody. Someone's like, people is giving me this right now. Anyways, it's still an energetic match, illusion. Trust how you feel. So, when I built, if people know me, like I probably started and stopped a few companies, and a lot of people will look at that as failure, but it wasn't that. Because I heal so rapidly and I intentionally heal, like I started a business called like Q Manifest. And I was like helping people really like see themselves and build. But that was the version of me that built that was a person that was trying to help everybody else, but not help myself. It was that identity. So when I kind of got to the root of that identity, I wasn't an energetic match for that company anymore. It didn't make it, I didn't align with it. I had no connection to it. And I easily cut it off. You know, the old me, which is try to be successful in something and keep going just so people wouldn't think I was a quitter or a failure. But I've become so strong in my detachment to where I'm not going to waste my time. I don't want to be this version of me that created it, and I'm not. So, but what did I tell you? I tried something new. I went to something else to where I was like, I'm just going to be transactional because now I don't got to give myself away. I don't have to this, but my gift was in me giving. I just didn't do that with boundaries. I don't want to lose that part of me. I don't want to lose the part of me that loves people. I don't want to lose the part of me that wants to help people build. I don't want to do that. But I want to do that for the right people, and I want to do it with boundaries. And how do you do it with boundaries? You price your worth. You know your value. You give to people, but you hold them accountable too. You just don't do everything else and let people put a price to it saying, oh, I'm paying you, so you should be responsible for all this. No. You show up and they show up, and if it's aligned, you keep showing up for each other. But you can't show up for anyone unless you show up for yourself. So I built another company, and it felt like it was different, but it still had an energetic match. It was an illusion. And I had to trust how I felt. I started feeling transactional. I started feeling like, I literally just called people to get the money and like get the stuff so I can have money to build myself. But then I wasn't fulfilled with that because I let the experience from the people of the past take away the part of me that likes to help others. Because I felt that if I gave so much, even for more money, that people would still just drain me. So whatever you plan to start, though it looks different than the past, it is still an energetic match because it is based from a version of you that carries a low frequency. The low frequency to align with those past people, that was the version of you that had no boundaries and overgave. And then now you built something else that has super high boundaries, but it's coming at the cost of neglecting your heart. And now you're definitely an energetic match for those people who try to take from you. Once you recognize the familiarity in the plan, silently reject it. So for me, I still have that company. I kind of allow things to kind of just flow in. I'm not really like underpricing myself again, but I silently rejected not the business, but how I connected with people. I silently rejected the intentions that I built from the mistakes of the past or the lessons of the past, the betrayals of the past. That's something that I did internally. The business wasn't wrong. My new plan, my new thing that I built wasn't wrong. It was the familiarity in the plan. Silently reject it, and then the new plan will appear in your mind. Because when you heal your heart, it opens up new pathways that you can go, because the heart is what blocks you. So if your heart is blocked from betrayal, you have a new path now to where you're going to guard yourself from betrayal. But if you heal your heart saying, listen, I understand people are going to betray. I understand that there's people out there, but I'm going to move forward, not giving so much of myself to where if someone does try to, it is what it is. But I still know that there's people out there who won't. And then that opens up a new path, because now you're not just going to be transactional. You're actually going to be a person who's open to receiving. And the new plan will appear in your mind. So that's when a new plan appears. So you say, that's when I was just like, all right, listen, I can do this again. I probably won't build people's brands again because I want to build my own brand. But I can help people get through this stuff that I got through. And that's more powerful, because that was a blockage for me. When I started just doing slow ticket, my life started becoming so reactive to where I was just chasing money so much. And a lot of people don't know what they're doing, to where if they kind of fix some of these issues, they can expand in sales. That's why I have a new company called q2close.com. I'll put the little watermark here for that, because it's not just helping people close, it's helping people align with the close. It's helping people break the blockages from the close. It's helping people truly align with an energetic match, because when you can do that, when you can remove the blockages that kept you from that, you don't have to work so hard to receive, because you're open. Because a lot of stuff tries to come our way, but we're not open to receiving it. You will move forward silently. To others, they won't see the change. The change is hidden in your intentions. Once your manifestation appears through the person who's the energetic match, you will already be 10 steps ahead. Now, and then your enemies are stuck. Here's the last part of my channeled message. If you want, I'm trying to hold it back so you can like screenshot the whole thing. Now, Emperor, are you hard-headed like I was? Are you like me? You're probably so family. Listen, Emperor. When I started having those transactional clients and people, because I was just so closed off, I hated it even more. And then it's like I started wanting connection again. And it's crazy. It's like it shows you who you truly are at the core. Because then you're not happy. So so I still kept the same business. I didn't really like started over again. I did it before, to where I started over before because I didn't want to do a model of branding other people anymore. I felt like I outgrew that. You know, I want to be in a position to where I can give people, you know, the stuff that I learned. So I just didn't align to doing that labor anymore. That's the creative energy that I want to put into myself. But I do align with people who need the guidance. You know, people, and especially being a closer, it just made sense, because people can give you advice on how to close all day, how to speak all day. If you're not coherent to the other person on the phone, you won't close them. If you're being transactional, you won't close people who want to build a relationship to earn trust. You won't close those people. It's all about coherence, you know? So going through this whole phase, it kind of opened that path for me to even do that. The new plan will appear in your mind. You will move forward silently. To others, they won't see the change. The change is hidden in your intentions. Once your manifestation appears through the person who's the energetic match. So you ever heard of when more than one person comes together, there's God. It's really when more than one person comes together in agreement, there's God. So if two people, like a lot of our manifestations are tied at the other end of a person, okay, especially like in sales. So that means that you have to have a sense of coherence with that other person, because then there's God, okay. I think that's like one of the universal laws of mentalism, us being all one. So one second. So you have two paths, especially like in one business, you can have two paths. If you're a person who is moving forward in your business with a closed heart, you're going to align with employers, partners, all people with that. That's one path. That's why I said the enemy is planning. I said the enemy, one path they can attach to. So there's hidden enemies that want to come back into your life, but they're hoping that you stay this person. So that's why when you shift silently, they can't come in, because now you're looking for those types of things. And there's someone, so what I'm getting from this as well is there's someone that you want to work with. Aim for something small that can grow. Aim for like a small offer that can grow. And this will help you heal as well. It will help you through those trust issues that you have. And it will help you see that not everyone's the same, that you were lacking boundaries. Okay. And when you do that, you'll be 10 steps ahead. Why? Because the finish line is within you. So the enemies are not expecting for you to learn this from going within. That's why you must go within. When you go within yourself, you are 10 steps ahead, because you're playing 5D chess. That's why they're hoping for you to be wounded. Wounds are spirituals, and then it affects your mind. What is your mind in the 5D? It's your imagination. It's how you plan and create. So if they could keep you attached to those wounds, those low vibration of lack of trust, then you're going to move forward like that. And then they can manifest whatever they want in the 3D by bringing you not aligned people. But you going within, changing your mind, you are already planning a new relationship out of love, a new partnership, a new offer, how it's going to grow. You are already moving forward that way. You're 10 steps ahead of them. And that is how your enemies are going to get stuck, because you and your enemy, you can be in agreement with the people who are plotting against you. And that's when God will appear, because you're in agreement with them. So if you believe that you can't trust anyone, and they're telling you that you can't trust anyone, so we're going to send people in that give you an illusion of false trust, then that is going to be your manifestation. The two people on the opposite poles of the manifestation have to be in agreement. But if you go inside and you change your mindset, then you are now in agreement with someone who is an energetic match. And then how that relationship grows and flourishes, and how it heals you. It heals you receiving, because you might be like me, just a big giver. It will help you to be able to receive, but receive genuinely, not just from you just pouring out money, not just from you just always giving, not just from whatever people wanted to attach to so you could overgive to them. You actually have someone who wants to earn you. All right. So, I can try to pull cards. I feel like that was the reading. That was the advice. Happy new moon, new cycle. New cycle. Yeah. Whatever this is that's going to start off small, it's like the Ace of Pentacles. It's the manifestation. It's the opportunity. And it's everything that you tried to get before that you're going to get now. See, before, this is all that you faced. Betrayal, heartbreak, over and over again. But this time, you're more confident, you're standing in your confidence, and you're moving forward. And look at that. The wheel is turning in your favor. The wheel is turning in your favor. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. All right. That's another confirmation that this was the truth. All right. So I'm not really going to pull more on this message here. Anyways, Basira Intuition. If you guys know me, I love Arabic words. But I think Basira means foresight. Basira Intuition is my company. From there, you can purchase a reading, just an energetic overall reading. And then you can purchase a reading that includes steps, strategy, and I just go deeper into it. I really channel aligned messages. And if you like how I work and you want like an ongoing retainer, I do offer that too. Other than that, you can check me out on Patreon if you want to be a subscriber. I post readings there that I do not post on here at all intentionally. And then I do have like a higher tier to where it's just more interactive. You get like one free reading a month in that. And then it's just one-on-one. I'm constantly posting downloads throughout the day, and you can like Discord me, message me personally, and we can kind of just build our relationship on there. But anyways, I hope this helped you. And remember, I provide clarity that saves you months and years of confusion.